all know how crazy busy this period is for Liverpool. And so not long after a nervy win over Wolverhampton Wanderers at Anfield over the weekend, we're back here at the AXA Training Centre to hear from Arne Slot yet again. And this time, of course, it's previewing a trip to Aston Villa on the Wednesday. Of course, this is a game that's been moved forward because of Liverpool's participation in the League Cup final. And it feels like a little bit of an opportunity, actually, for Liverpool, this one. They spent so much of this season a game behind, haven't they, because of the postponement of that Everton game. That's finally been played now, and so they're level on games with Arsenal. And now, because this game has been moved forward, it's a chance to get a game ahead and maybe pile on a little bit of pressure onto Arsenal as well, because with Liverpool being 7 points ahead coming into this game, they know that the prize at the end of this, if they can win it, is a 10-point gap. And albeit that's having played a game more, I still feel like that has an ability to kind of play on Arsenal's mind and make that gap seem a little bit bigger than it actually is. So real opportunity, as I say, for Liverpool in this one. So what did Slot say in his press conference? I'll get into it, and as usual, start with the team news, which is usually the most important element. Not as much actually to get into on team news this season in general, because Liverpool have done okay with injuries, haven't they? But there is still a couple of niggles and issues that Liverpool are dealing with at the moment. So the first of those I'll discuss is Cody GAKPO. Of course, he's missed the last game with a foot injury picked up at Everton, and unfortunately doesn't look like he's going to be available for this one. Arne Slot ruling him out of the trip to Villa, but he did say Cody's close to being back, and that makes it seem like he's at least going to be available for the Manchester City game. So it'll be great to get him back for that. He's been such a threat on that left-hand side, hasn't he? Clearly the first choice in that position at the moment, so it would be good to get him back for that game. But we aren't going to be seeing him at Villa Park, which is a real shame. And in terms of other injuries, he's also asked about Joe Gomez, whether there was any chance for him for this game. I mean, I think that question is largely optimistic, and unfortunately it proved that way. Judging by Slot's answer, he said that he is still out and he expects him to be out for quite a long time now, actually. Unfortunately, he has a hamstring injury, and he later clarified they're not quite sure yet whether he's going to undergo surgery on that, but that shows you the severity that is a judgment call that they have to make. And as I say, says he's going to be out a long time. He did clarify further into the press conference as well that he doesn't expect him to miss the end of the season. He does think he will be back before then and will have a role to play. But it doesn't look like it's going to be any time soon, unfortunately. And as I say, with it being surgery, that being a potential option there, that shows you how severe that hamstring injury is. So a real blow for Liverpool, and a blow for Joe Gomez as well. He's had terrible luck with injuries at Liverpool, hasn't he, during his time here, and it's a real shame that he's just come back from that muscle issue and then sustained another one straight away in the FA Cup. So yeah, it's a shame that he's going to be out, but hopefully we do see him before the end of the season, as the manager alluded to. And in terms of other team news bits, Curtis Jones, of course, comes back into the squad for this one. He was serving a one-match ban after picking up a second yellow card against Everton after the final whistle in that one, that melee that Abdoulaye Doucouré was involved in. So thankfully he is back from that one-match suspension, and a boost to the midfield options. Interesting actually to see whether he comes in, because the work rate they've got to get through in this run is ridiculous, isn't it? And so to freshen things up in midfield, maybe that would help. So we'll see what he does about that. And also, another team news boost that I don't really think gets spoken about enough is the fact that Jota is fit and available. And of course he has been for a little while now, but a bit of a weird season for him. And again, we speak a lot about Arsenal's injury problems that they've got, and Liverpool have done much better this season with injuries, but it's not like they've been without injuries completely. They have had their own fitness issues, and Diogo Jota is the best example of that. I mean, he starts the game at the weekend against Wolves, and that is his first Premier League start since October. So he is clearly, and Arne Slot says this in his press conference, he said that he was the guy who started the first few games as a starting centre forward, and then we missed him from October till now, till we're into late February. It's been a long time without him, really, and not really something that has been mentioned a lot, because Liverpool's form has been so good, because Diaz has filled in well, because Nunez's form has improved of late. It's not been talked about as a big miss for Liverpool, but I think it absolutely has been. And Arne Slot, as I say, he said, look, we've missed him during this period that he's been out, and it's interesting to see what his role looks like going forward as well. He said, it's not like he can play now because he's back 90 over these next 3 games that Liverpool have got going, particularly as that's in a run of 5 games in 15 days. But he does expect him to be heavily involved, and I do wonder now is he, like he was at the start of the season, going to be the nailed-on starter in that centre-forward role? It's a really interesting debate. I mean, I don't think he was perfect against Wolves at the weekend, but he played a very important role in the opening goal, didn't he? And also, I think when you saw Núñez when he came on, he, to me, would have been a candidate for a start against Aston Villa. But I just wonder whether he's played himself out of contention, because he just didn't look right when he came on. I thought he was poor as a substitute against Wolves. I mean, quite a lot were poor in that second half, but I thought, you know, his pressing didn't seem great. He didn't seem as engaged. He wasn't able to get Liverpool up the pitch. So that's an interesting one. And whether Jota maybe will nail down that starting position over the next few games is one to keep an eye on, I think. And it's a little interesting debate that the manager's got to work his way through. Now, in terms of other talking points, of course, it came up and was discussed. There was a little bit of nervousness around Anfield at the weekend. I think everyone who was there experienced that, particularly after Wolves' goal to make it 2-1. It was a little bit of a worry of, oh no, are we going to throw this away, similar to the Everton game? So there was a nervousness in the crowd, and maybe a little bit amongst the players if it transmitted there. And Arne Slot was asked about this. Is this something he's kind of worried about, or something that's going to be an issue? And he said, we're going to the end of the season. Securing a win in the Premier League when leading by 1 goal is always going to be a lot of defending and hard work. And it was put to him actually in a question. I thought this was really interesting, and some good research by the journalist who put this question, that 5 out of his last 6 wins in the year he won the title with Feyenoord, 5 of those 6 wins came by a single goal. So he's got some experience to lean on here, that, you know, you can battle, you've got to get over the line. It's not always champagne football in the way that you win football matches. So I think it's interesting that he's got that experience, and it's important that he does, because I think there's going to be a few more afternoons that are like that. I'm sure Villa on Wednesday is going to be really, really tricky as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool were to win, whether that was by 1 goal as well. And he did also speak about the fact that, you know, he has to lean on the players in this as well. So many of this squad have title-winning experience, and you think how many 1-goal wins there were in that run in the 2019-20 season as well. I think it's 14 out of the 27 wins they'd managed before the COVID break were by a single goal. So this squad is very much used to winning in that way as well. So hopefully that will be helpful, that manager and players are reading off the same hymn sheet, and they all have an idea of how you get over the line in these games. Because I think that's going to be really important in the run that's coming up. And of course, he's also asked about Liverpool's opposition on Wednesday, and said Villa away is one of the toughest games that you can face. He said, look, the form hasn't been perfect of late, but they finished top 8 in the Champions League. They've added some really good players in January, and they are actually, I thought this is interesting, they are winless in 4 games in the Premier League at the moment. So the results not coming for them. They've got a few injuries as well, so maybe this is a good time for Liverpool to face them. But of course, they just have to go there, put on a good performance, and make the most of the opportunity that awaits them, because they are in an amazing position. But now it feels like the time to really seize it, doesn't it, and move forward. So hopefully they can do that. Now, let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments, how you're feeling about it. I'm sure there's a lot of nervousness out there, as there was at Anfield over the weekend, but of course, as I say, this is an opportunity for Liverpool to seize, so they've got to go there and play well. And if you want to catch my post-match review tomorrow evening, then please do subscribe. Subscribers are going through the roof at the moment, and I keep banging on about it, I always will, but please do, if you enjoy the videos, please do subscribe. It's always helpful to have that bigger subscriber base, and it is going through the roof at the moment, so I'm really appreciative of that. So I'm going to wrap it up there anyway, and I'll see you for my post-match review on Wednesday. See you then.